Welcome to Hollywood Actions. In this video, we are going to take a heartbreaking journey through the lives of Golden Age actresses who dazzled audiences with their beauty, talent, and unforgettable performances, but who tragically died in poverty. These were women who once walked red carpets, graced magazine covers, and shared the screen with the biggest stars of their time. Yet, despite their success, many were abandoned by the industry and left to struggle in their final years. Their stories remind us that fame is fleeting, and the glamour of Hollywood often hides unimaginable pain. Now let's dive in. 1. Frances Farmer. Frances Farmer was a brilliant and fiercely independent actress who rose to fame in the 1930s with roles in Come and Get It and Rhythm on the Range. Known for her raw talent and defiance of the studio system, Farmer soon found herself at odds with Hollywood executives. Her mental health struggles were exacerbated by the pressures of fame, and she was institutionalized several times. Rumors swirled that she was subjected to a lobotomy, though this remains unconfirmed. By the 1950s, her career had all but disappeared. She spent her final years working as a hotel clerk in Indianapolis. 2. Barbara Payton. Barbara Payton was once a rising star with major studio contracts and high-profile romances, including Franket Tone and Tom Neal. But her fast lifestyle, substance abuse, and a highly publicized scandal involving a violent love triangle destroyed her career. Reduced to appearing in low-budget films and eventually resorting to prostitution, Payton lived in squalor and battled severe addiction. She wrote a harrowing memoir titled I Am Not Ashamed before dying at just 39 years old from liver and heart failure. She died in utter poverty, a cautionary tale of how fast Hollywood can turn on its own. 3. Lila Lee. Lila Lee was a major star of the silent era, often playing the innocent ingenue in films opposite actors like Rudolph Valentino. Her career declined after the advent of sound films, and she struggled with alcoholism and health issues. Despite a few minor roles later in life, she never regained her former status. She died in complete obscurity and poverty in 1973 from a stroke. Her tragic end was a stark contrast to the glamour of her early years in Hollywood. 4. Bessie Love. Bessie Love was a silent film darling who transitioned well into talkies and even earned an Academy Award nomination for The Broadway Melody, 1929. However, as she aged, substantial roles dwindled. She eventually moved to England and found small parts in British films and television. Though she worked into her 80s, she struggled financially and lived modestly in a nursing home. Love's story was less scandalous but equally sad, a once famous actress quietly fading into poverty and obscurity. 5. Betty Hutton. Betty Hutton was one of the biggest musical stars of the 1940s, known for energetic performances in films like Annie Get Your Gun and The Greatest Show on Earth. However, clashes with studio heads and personal issues derailed her career. Later in life, Hutton converted to Catholicism and worked as a housekeeper in a Rhode Island rectory. She eventually made a small comeback but never recovered financially. She died in relative obscurity, far from the spotlight she once commanded. 6. Helen Chandler. Helen Chandler is best remembered for playing Mina in the 1931 classic Dracula opposite Bela Lugosi. She was a respected stage actress, but her film career faltered as she struggled with alcoholism. Chandler suffered severe injuries from a fire caused by her smoking in bed and endured multiple surgeries. She died from complications of alcoholism at the age of 59 in a Los Angeles hospital, largely forgotten and broke. 7. Peg Entwistle. Best known for her tragic death rather than her acting, Peg Entwistle starred in stage productions and appeared in the film 13 Women. Her career was just beginning when she became disillusioned with Hollywood. In 1932, she climbed the H of the Hollywood sign and jumped to her death. She was just 24. The media dubbed her the Hollywood sign girl, and her suicide became a haunting symbol of the broken dreams of the film industry. 8. Thelma Todd. Thelma Todd was a beloved comedic actress who appeared in numerous Marx Brothers films and Hal Roach comedies. She also owned a popular cafe in Los Angeles. Her mysterious death in her car, possibly by carbon monoxide poisoning, was ruled accidental, but foul play was suspected. At the time of her death, her finances were in turmoil, and much of her earnings had disappeared. She died young and under suspicious and impoverished circumstances. 9. Mabel Normand. A pioneering silent film comedian, Mabel Normand worked closely with Charlie Chaplin and Roscoe "Fatty" Arbuckle. She was also one of the first women to direct films in Hollywood. Scandals, including the William Desmond Taylor murder case and her own health decline due to tuberculosis and addiction, led to her fall from grace. She died at 37, with her fortune depleted and her legacy overshadowed by controversy. 10. Gladys George. Gladys George was a talented actress with roles in The Maltese Falcon and an Academy Award nomination for Valiant as the Word for Carrie, 1936. However, substance abuse and poor financial choices derailed her success. She died of cirrhosis of the liver and heart complications at age 50, reportedly in dire financial straits. Her Hollywood success could not shield her from the dangers of addiction. 11. Lois Moran. Lois Moran was a young star in the 1920s and reportedly inspired F. Scott Fitzgerald's character in Tender as the Night. Despite her beauty and early fame, her career was brief and fizzled after the silent era. She struggled to find steady work afterward and faded into obscurity. While not destitute, her wealth and fame were gone by the time she passed away. 12. Juanita Hanson, 1895–1966. Juanita Hanson was a beautiful silent film actress known for her work in serials. However, a morphine addiction destroyed her career and reputation. Though she later became a public speaker warning against drug use, her career never recovered. She died in near poverty, her once promising stardom long extinguished.